Allie, who's going to step up for this country?
Not me.
Not me either, but we need somebody better than the current presidential candidates.
Yep, we sure do. What makes you say that?
Migrants from the southwest border can't seek asylum anymore, which means that you have to come a different way.
Yep, I
It's
sure
basically
did see
like
that.
the wall that Trump was trying to build. Same idea.
Yeah.
And I think it's a political move because he's trying to get the Republicans that are only voting for Trump for that reason. That's what I think.
Yeah, you're probably right because that way he gets more votes of from people who want to protect the border.
Yeah. It's just wackadoodle. It's all wackadoodle.
Yeah, it is wackadoodle. I mean, I think it's wackadoodle. I think he's scared. I think you're right. I think it is a political move. And fuck Biden.
Yeah.
I don't like him anymore. I haven't for a while.
Yeah, I don't
But
really even know what he's done that's good. And, like, he's doing nothing about the Israel Palestine shit. And,
he's participating in it,
yeah.
in fact.
And it's just, do better.
Just do better. Someone step up for us.
We need someone. But I think that, do you think that it's possible that a new candidate could come and rise to the top at this point?
No.
What if, though?
I mean, I would like that, but it's already June and we vote in November and we haven't heard any new person, that even has a chance.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just going to be fucking Trump and Biden again.
Again, and they're so old.
They're so old. They're senile, both of them. Did you see where Trump was talking at a rally and his teleprompter went out, so he just started talking?
No.
It was really entertaining, like, to watch because
he's
so
a reality
crazy.
TV star.
Yeah,
Like,
he's insane. But he was talking about, the people, like the Democrats want all these boats to be electric now. And I was talking to one of the captains of this, I don't even know, like, you can't really understand what's going on because he tells the story so bad, but he's like, yeah, I asked him, well, what happens if the boat sinks, okay? And there's a shark in the water. And then he starts going on a tangent about shark attacks and how shark attacks have been up high, like at a high recently.
bro, like, why are you talking about nautical shit? Like,
He's like, have you seen all the shark attacks?
he probably just went on a cruise and was thinking about boats.
And then he was talking about this girl who got mauled by a shark. He talks about this shark attack and how shark attacks are at a high or something. But he was saying,
It's actually not that common.
well, no, but he was saying his whole point of this was like, what if the boat sinks and there's a shark over there? Would I rather get electrocuted by the sinking boat because it's electric, or would I rather get eaten by a shark?
I don't think anybody's concerned with this issue at all.
Literally.
I think that we have bigger concerns.
And then he was like, and the guy told me he's never had anyone ask that question before.
Who's the guy? Who is he talking
I don't
about?
know. I really couldn't follow that closely, but
That's
he was
insane.
like, no one's ever asked that before. And I'm like, yeah, I bet. I bet no one's ever asked him that before because you're an idiot and that's a stupid ass question.
He just wants to brag because he said something. He thought he said something revolutionary, but
Yeah.
that sounds like, I don't know. I feel like that question is pretty simple.
It's just funny. And I honestly laughed at it. I thought it was hilarious because he was like, and he was like, the teleprompter stopped working. Oh, well, then I'm not going to pay these people shit. He's like, I'm not paying them shit. Like, if you don't do your job right, I'm not going to pay you. Yeah, and people were cheering, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So those are our candidates, everyone.
Yeah, I guess there probably is a lesser of the two evils that we have in mind, but none of them are good. I was looking at this trend that people were rating the presidents based on how they look. in pictures, like the presidents over the years.
Yeah.
And it's like we've kind of gotten to that point where it's like I just found it interesting because it speaks to like the distrust that we have in presidents in general when we're like not even thinking about the issues anymore because it's just so ridiculous that we're like, okay, this picture, Barack is a solid 10. This picture.
Yeah, like we can't even like figure out these issues. We're over figuring it out. We just want to rate the presidents on their looks at this point.
It's just,
Yeah, Barack is definitely a 10 though.
Yeah.
Especially compared to the rest of these people.
I know. We miss Barack.
I miss Daddy Barack.
Michelle Obama wrote a new book.
Oh, she did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Gotta check it out.
So
yeah.
What did we do this week? Or this weekend? What did you do?
I was out of town. I went to a friend's wedding. It was like my partner's childhood.
You're still
His
recovering?
childhood friend was getting married. Yeah, and I'm still recovering. We came back on Monday, yesterday evening. Well, like late afternoon, evening. But it was a whole thing because we drove up to Santa Cruz first, spent the night in Santa Cruz, hung out with some of his friends there, and then all rode together to Monterey. And then the wedding happened. Then we rode back. And, you know, just driving there is a full day thing because it's like 6 hours or so.
Yeah.
So, you know. But it was fun.
That's fun.
I felt like I got closer with some of Langston's friends. And it's funny the way it just has worked out this way where it's a group of guys and they all went to high school together. Well, most of them. Some of them met in college.
Mm-hmm.
But they've all just kind of stuck together as friends. And now all of them have long-term relationships, so I just like kind of ended up hanging out with the girls. And
That's cute.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know, it's sort of like a situation where like a family situation where it's like you're just like put with people, not that I dislike these girls, but it's like people you wouldn't normally hang out with maybe.
Yeah.
But I sort of take it back because most of them I think I would hang out with. But the wedding was beautiful. They did it at this like kind of near a marina. We were right on the water, and it was just this like big mansion place.
Wow.
Like looked like a boathouse kind of, and the ceremony was outside, and they had like 3 different levels. There was a dance floor level, and then a food and bar level. There were 2 bars, and they had great food, great drinks, unlimited food and drinks.
That sounds
and then
like
we went to
these
another
people
bar
are
after.
rich.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think they got probably had help from their parents. Yeah. So, yeah, it was great.
Okay, that's fun. I haven't been to it. Well, I guess the last wedding I went to was my friend David's wedding, but that was a year ago. So I haven't been to a wedding since.
Well, I went to my brother's wedding.
Oh, that's right.
My brother like had a pretty good wedding too, and they're not rich. I think that these people just save up a lot of money.
That's wild. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I don't either. I think when I have a wedding, I can't imagine having a ceremony like that. Or not a ceremony like that. Just like being able to provide free food and free drinks for everybody seems like a lot.
I think I would I've thought about this before. I think I would probably try to save money on the venue and then do something easy for food, like a taco truck or like a food truck of some kind.
Yeah.
And then spend the rest of the money on open bar because you have to have an open bar.
Yes.
You just have
need
to.
an open bar because that's like what really the dance at this party was crazy. It got like they broke a lamp on the chandelier.
Oh my god.
They were like crowd surfing the groom.
Oh my god.
And then I think I don't know if it happened at that point or if there was another like body lifting situation, but I wasn't even there when the chandelier broke, but
that sounds fun.
Yeah, and then we had a Congo line.
Oh, a Congo line. Love that.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
It was a lot of fun. That was like the best dance floor actually of a wedding that I've been to.
Nice.
Cuz my brother's wedding dance floor, it was like not we kind of had to like pull people onto the dance floor, you know.
Right. Yeah, my dance floor is going to be lit if I have a wedding. Lit.
Yeah, they were playing a lot of like pop punk, like, you know, like 2000s pop punk.
Oh, that's
and everybody's
fun.
like screaming the lyrics.
Oh, I would have loved that. That's so fun.
It was cool. It was cool. I had a lot of fun. And We stayed at the Days Inn.
The Days Inn.
Well, it's funny because we just like all had. It's like a motel setup,
Mm-hmm.
and so we were just like hopping to the different rooms.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Just a long. And I discovered my favorite snack shop in the world now.
What is it?
I forget what it's called, but it's in a small town on the way up, the
Oh.
101.
Okay.
And I'm going to find it again someday.
Yeah.
But it was just in this like podunk town. There's like nothing, but it's sort of, you know how it gets out there like very like ranch style.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just cool because they had like different snacks that I've never seen before. Like they had like dried shrimp in a bag,
Whoa.
like full shrimps.
Whoa.
Yeah, like the big ones, the
That's
big jumbo, and they were
crazy.
dried. And then they had like regular snacks, like Fritos, but like different flavor, like queso Fritos.
Mm.
You know, it was like the special flavors of things that you
Right.
don't see at your normal gas station.
That's awesome.
So, if I remember the name, I'll shout it out. But I don't remember the name right now.
Yeah.
So, how was your weekend?
It was good. Me and our mutual friend went to see my friend skate in her roller derby.
I was
Game.
bummed that I missed that. Oh, I got the name. It's called San Ardo Liquor and Gas.
Sam Ardo Liquor and Gas.
San
Shout-
Ardo in San
South-
San Ardo, California.
Shouts out. Make sure you stop
They
there.
had 3.7 stars on
You
Google.
should give them 5.
They have porta potties. I think that's why they got 3.7.
Oh.
Because it's like the only place for miles that has a bathroom. And
Oh.
apparently, looking at their reviews, they used to not have bathrooms at all.
Oh.
They got a lot of complaints for that, which is
Well-
why they have the porta potties
Well,
now.
they're trying.
Yeah, now they heard the people.
They did.
Yeah, but recommend. So
Okay.
you went. Recommend if you're ever driving up the coast.
Yeah, just Google it and see if you're passing by.
Yeah. Anywho, so you went to the roller derby competition.
Yeah, they're called bouts.
Bouts?
Yeah.
Like BOUTS?
Mm-hmm. But I just say game because it's a game.
Mm-hmm.
And no one knows what a bout is, so I just say it's a
Mhm.
roller derby game. But it was fun. It was a really close game. Like apparently there were 2 games that day, and we missed the first one because we're us. And that one apparently was easy, and like my friend's team crushed them super fast.
Mhm.
So it was kind of boring, I guess. But then the game that we saw, the teams were pretty equally matched.
What do? They don't have a ball, right? They just like push. All I know is they like go around a circle, push each other.
Yeah, so basically, without getting too deep into it, you have blockers and you have jammers. And a blocker is blocking the jammers from passing by them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're usually like the bigger girls because you can like block people and like you can hit them kind of like with your body and get them out of bounds. And that's a way of defense. So it's like normally the bigger girls are blockers, and then the other girls are like the smaller, like short. It seems like short girls are
that
like
what
the
Jocelyn
jammers.
is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jocelyn's a jammer. Her roller derby name is Princess Piggy. And
But what about the people that aren't either? Or you have to be one or the other.
I think you're just
okay.
one or the other.
Okay.
So the blockers block. But like jammers are on both teams, and they're both trying to get past the blockers.
Okay.
So it's like it's
race.
chaotic.
But
It's chaotic.
But it's like a race to. But it's
yeah,
in
you
a
have to
circle,
go around
right?
the circle. Yeah. So the jammers, once they get past the blockers, whoever's in front goes around the circle and scores points the more times they go around the circle.
Oh, okay.
But
So it's
you have-
very simple.
It's simple. There's rules like certain ways that you can block, and certain you'll get a flag or whatever if you do the wrong thing. But it's pretty intense. Like people get hurt, and
Yeah.
Jocelyn got hit in the cheek, and her cheek was like swollen by
Oh,
the time it was
shit.
over. But they ended up losing by 2 points.
Oh damn.
But it was really close, and it was like they were in the lead, and then the other team was in the lead, and then they were in the lead, and then the other team was in the lead. So it was at least really exciting to watch. And yeah, it was fun. And it's just funny, like all my life, not all my life, but for a long time, people always ask me if I'm a derby girl, or like they
Oh.
used to when I lived in West Virginia. and I never understood why, but it's because all these bitches look like me.
They're just like short.
They're all like, they all have like curvy body types, big ass butts, which my butt is gone now, so I don't have that, but
Still curvy.
they got butts, and they're all like queer.
Yeah.
It's very white.
Yeah.
And they all have tattoos. So it looks like I play derby when I go there, 'cause I just look like I would, I guess. But yeah, it's fun. It was really fun. But we did a little road trip 'cause it was like an hour and a half away, and yeah.
Were you going up the 101? I recommend the San Ardo.
No, we didn't. We were going east. We went to
Okay.
Corona.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you guys do after? I saw you guys were, I don't know, at a restaurant or something. You were sitting.
Oh,
somewhere.
there was a little like concession place in the
Oh.
rink, the roller rink, and we just sat there while I charged my phone, and we got like snacks,
Okay.
like candy, and yeah,
That's
just chilled.
fun.
Yeah, it was cool 'cause we had like an hour before the game started when we got there. So, and we were playing cards. We played Egyptian rat screw
Yeah.
while we were waiting 'cause we had a little bit of time, and that was fun. 'Cause Jocelyn's friend was there too, so he was hanging out with us, and we were all three just playing this game in the concession stand area.
I do like that game.
It's fun.
One game.
It's a fun game. But yeah, and then I came home and took a big fat nap. That's pretty much
The highlight of the weekend.
the highlight. Yeah, that was on Saturday. I don't think anything else exciting happened after that. That's like my one social activity for the weekend.
Okay, that's a big one 'cause you had to drive.
Yeah. It was
Well,
cool.
we had pretty fun weekends.
Yeah.
Are we gonna talk about who we're gonna hex and bless?
Well, let's get into it.
Let's get into the hexing and blessing.
We'll put
Blessings and hexings.
blessings and hexings.
Blessings and hexings. And who you want to bless?
That's a good question, Kirsten. Who do you want to bless? Because I gotta think about it.
Oh, well, I mean, I think with just, if I think about the week and the weekend, we got to bless the couple that got married.
Yes.
And that would be Ryan and Karina. So I'm going to bless them.
Okay.
Bless them for a good marriage. And they seem really, really sweet. They're like the kind ones of the group, like the less rowdy, more like humble,
Aw.
just sweet ones. So
I like that.
yeah, we liked them for that.
Okay, we blessed him.
Bless them. Who you want to bless?
I'm gonna bless my good friend, Missy.
Why?
Because she deserves it.
Okay. Well, she does deserve it, but
She
is there any
deserves it.
particular reason
Well, it
this week
ties
you
in-
want to bless her?
Yeah, it ties into the people I'm gonna hex. But Missy needs blessed because her HOA is giving her a really hard time, and just financially they're being ridiculous to her, and I just want to bless her because she's going through it. And
Yeah, so give her
Yeah.
a little boost of good luck.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. So let's bless these people.
Coven. Bless,
Bless.
bless, bless.
In the name of the sun and the moon and the stars.
Yeah.
Blessing.
Bless them. Bless them.
All right. Then
Dude.
who we gonna hex? Let's get into the
Let's get into it. We're hexing some people today.
yeah, 'cause well, basically, our friend Missy, who's been on the pod, she owns a condo, but has to deal with this HOA situation, and they're trying to make everybody pay thousands and thousands of extra dollars. This year.
Literally, they're trying to fix everything at once, and they want every single unit to get a $50K loan in order to pay this off.
Which is just crazy.
Which
'cause
is
it's
crazy.
Like from what I know about the situation, they had all voted against it, but the leaders of the HOA are like, no, we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why we're hexing the 2 people in charge of the HOA.
And it's a couple.
It's
It's a couple of gnomes.
It's a man and a woman who are married. And so Missy sent an email just discussing her concerns about paying an extra $500 a month, which who can afford that?
That's crazy, yeah.
That's insane to just raise everything that much. And she was sending her concerns, and like, it's not just her that feels this way. It's literally everyone, because they voted it down. So obviously everyone feels the same way. But and they want her to be president. They want to vote these people out so that she can be president.
Can't you do that? Like, if everybody else.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to be president. That's crazy.
I don't know though. She could get some shit.
It's a lot of work for free. But anyway, so she sent an email to this person, these 2 people, and everything at first was fine in the email. It was like, well, this is why, like, we can't do this, and this is why we can't wait to do this, and it's like, okay, whatever. But then in the second part of the email, he starts attacking her, basically saying that, questioning her financial competency, like, about, you should have seen this coming and you should have saved up money for this, and you like just saying stuff like, you're obviously not financially responsible, kind of in short. Like, that's pretty much what he was saying. And he was like, no one should have to move out or lose their condo. Like, you could just rent it out to someone else, and you have that option, and like, da-da-da. And she's like,
where would she go?
Exactly. So it's just, these people just made her feel like shit and was just being shitty back to her when all she was doing was addressing her concerns. And apparently these people suck, and they look like gnomes.
Yeah.
And they have big bug eyes, and they look like they should live in the woods.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Some like washed out PacSun shit.
Yeah, you're too old for PacSun.
Mm-hmm. And the lady has horse girl hair.
She got horse girl hair.
Let's imagine them. So the lady with the horse girl hair.
We have descriptions,
wearing
Kevin.
leggings.
We've got descriptions. This man, she said he's a sad-looking fellow with a long nose and dark hair, black hair, like bug eyes. And then his wife kind of has bug eyes too, but they're more crazy girl eyes. And she has long brown hair, like church girl horse hair. She also said, unfortunately, she was blessed with a fat ass, which she's annoyed about, because
not everybody deserves that.
Not everyone deserves that, and she does not. She said their faces are busted. They look like they belong in the forest, and their attitudes are terrible. So, yeah, and so the guy wears like button downs from PacSun, but he's like aged out of it. And then the girl wears leggings and big t-shirts, and that's all she can recall. So imagine these people. Hex them.
They don't deserve to be HOA leaders.
Yeah, and they're not being empathetic about the fact that you're asking everyone to pay $500 more, and then now you're attacking me, saying that I obviously didn't make the right financial decisions.
Yeah, like, can't they lower it a little bit?
And they said, that's what she was saying, like, can't we do this instead, and whatever. And that's what he was like, you should have seen this coming. And she was like, how, first of all?
Yeah.
Second of all, we voted this down, so
yeah.
What do you mean I should have seen this coming?
And it's like she bought the place expecting to pay a certain price, not expecting some shit like this.
And she said that in her email, and he basically shitted on her about that, saying like, well, when you bought the place, he went back through her records and like said shit to her, like,
damn,
you shouldn't have even bought it, basically.
Jeez.
Because you couldn't really afford it in the first place or something. Like, it was really...
Well, sorry, not all of us are like washed out PacSun yogis that have a bunch of money for whatever reason.
Right. So, Kevin, think about these forest people and hex them.
Hex them. And I don't want to hex anybody specific, really, but I want to hex just in general rich people that don't have a touch with reality.
Yeah.
That don't understand what it's like to work for your money.
Trust fund babies.
Yeah. Or who don't understand what it's like to like have to network for your money.
Yeah. Just people who are not in touch with reality
Yeah.
and how other people live.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Let's hex those people.
them.
Hex them.
All right, so we got some drugs to talk about.
We're talking about drugs once again. You love it, you know.
And
It's summertime.
Yeah, summertime, summer of drugs. So we're first of all, I'm Kirsten,
I'm Allie.
and you're listening to
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
MDMA. MDMA, or as you may know it as Molly, is what we're talking about.
Yeah. So basically, MDMA stands for, and I'm going to do this for you guys, okay? I'm going to tell you what it stands for. Methylene dioxymethamphetamine.
Okay.
So the MA is methamphetamine, and then the MD is methylene dioxy.
Okay.
And it has empathogenic properties. Of course, as we know, it's usually used at like raves.
Yeah.
But basically, the difference between MDMA and ecstasy is sort of like colloquial, like depending on colloquial. Did I say that weird?
No,
Did I say it wrong?
No, I just don't know that word, and it's funny. It sounds like you're gagging on something. Oh, you know what it reminds me of? There was a girl on The Bachelor who had a cochlear implant.
Oh yeah, the ear thing.
Yeah, and she would not stop talking about her cochlear implant, and we were like, "Stop saying cochlear! It's such an ugly word."
Yeah, colloquial is kind of ugly too. But anyway, there's like colloquial meanings between what MDMA and ecstasy and Molly are. But basically, in general, MDMA is like the pure crystal form or the powder form. And then ecstasy is a pill that has MDMA in it along with other drugs.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the general. But the content of ecstasy pills differs between countries.
Oh.
So it depends on the country that you're getting it from, and obviously like the specific source too. Yeah, I mean basically what I said, the ecstasy pills contain varying amounts of MDMA, and MDMA crystals are often crushed into a crystal like powder.
Mm-hmm.
But these days MDMA crystals are more popular in use than ecstasy pills, and ecstasy pill usage has gone down a lot. Although I think that's even changed since we were growing up, because I think ecstasy pills were more common in the early 2000s. This is just my own personal experience than it is now. One thing that I heard about the history is, and maybe this can start with your part with the history, is that it got a lot of media attention in the mid 90s, but during the 70s and 80s it was used in psychotherapy to help people cope with past traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
So what did you learn about the history?
So a German chemist, he originally synthesized MDMA for pharmaceutical purposes in 1912 while he was trying to develop other medicines that could stop bleeding.
Oh.
So it's also pretty old. After he developed this, he realized that it had psychoactive properties, and then the pharmaceutical company Merck patented MDMA in 1914 because they thought that it would have pharmaceutical value. So they patented the compound, and then no one really tested or like did any drug development until later after that, but they just were like, oh, this is something, so we're going to patent it real quick. Basically.
Oh, real quick.
In 1914. Also, if you guys listen to the LSD episode 2 weeks ago, the CIA was doing some shady shit with LSD, and it was part of the MK Ultra testing. If you guys remember, they were like testing it on people who didn't even consent to being on LSD at all, and they were just doing experiments like that and being shady because they thought like during the Cold War they could use it against their enemies, like psychoactive type of weapon. But they were doing the same thing with MDMA, except they didn't test it on humans. They tested it on animals, like dogs
Oh, wow.
and rats and monkeys. So those came to a halt, as soon as that one person was like, this isn't right. We can't do this anymore. That was in the 50s.
Oh, okay.
And then in the 1970s, some psychiatrists began using it as a psychotherapeutic tool. And they actually started calling the drug Adam because they felt it returned patients to a more innocent state.
Oh, what about Eve?
No, Eve is the bad girl who corrupted Adam, okay? So it's going to be Adam.
A slutty bitch.
She's a slut, so we're not naming this after her, even though we should, because MDMA does make you aroused.
It's a woman.
Yeah, I think it's a woman too. They figured out that patients were more willing to communicate and participate in the therapy if they were on MDMA, because from what I've heard, I've never, in my dreams, again, from what I've heard, it makes you very talkative and very open and vulnerable and,
Yeah, some of the effects are pro-social effects, such as feelings of connectedness. I thought I had more to say than just that. But in one of the studies that I read some studies, and in one of the studies, they did a lot of interviewing actual MDMA users, and they kind of talk about the difference between MDMA and ecstasy, and most of the users say that effects of MDMA are better than ecstasy. And MDMA is regarded as safer. And then users of MDMA crystals considered a higher caliber person. Like they're, because rave culture is a little bit out of fashion, yeah, and those using ecstasy is a little bit
more
outdated.
Hardcore. Yeah, well, so that brings me to the 1980s when ecstasy had become more widely known as the party drug, and people were using it at raves. But it was called the yuppie psychedelic because it was supposedly milder and less dangerous than ecstasy and LSD. So they called it the yuppie psychedelic. So that makes sense that like you said, on a different caliber.
Yeah.
Would use it.
Yeah, yuppies I think are also they're considered like sort of like rich hippies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
people
Silver Lake is a yuppie.
Oh, 100%.
It's like rich people that pretend they're not rich.
Yes. That's exactly what yuppies are.
Yeah.
After the 80s, like the United States started catching on in 1985, and they added it under Schedule 1 drug in 1985 during the war on drugs. And that is with marijuana, LSD, and heroin. So they said it had a high potential for abuse and no real medicinal value.
Wow.
That's what they said.
I kind of wish that we grew up in a time before that.
When it was just legal. No one knew it was bad yet.
Yeah.
Well, they say that it's better than ecstasy health-wise, but that's actually not true.
Well, I don't think that we can really know the truth because ecstasy can have all different types of stuff in it.
That's true. That's very true. But there's also ways to die from MDMA, and it is mainly when you get overheated. It overheats the body, and that's why people die, is because it's from overheating and like not drinking water. Yeah, there's actually on our timeline here, there's between 1994 and 1999, there were 27 ecstasy-related deaths in the United States.
That's not that many.
No, and then 20 deaths around the world in 1 year. So it's not that many compared to like heroin.
Yeah.
Or crack, you know what I mean? But it can, like, I remember when back in the day when I dreamed about doing MDMA. Allegedly, I was looking a lot of stuff up about it, and I saw that it's easy to get dehydrated and it's easy to not drink water, and as long as if you're overheating, like if you're at a rave and you're dancing and you start overheating, that's also going to be bad because it overheats you already.
Yeah. It just adds to it because it's like associated with the rave culture.
Yeah.
Like you're in a sweaty dance floor. So like you just have to really drink water.
Yeah. And raves appeared in the United States and in Europe starting in the 1980s. That's when it became a popular street drug. So
do you ever wish that you grew up in a different time?
No. No.
I kind of wish that I was like a little older in the 90s.
Yeah, I guess that would be the only different time because the 90s were fun, were crazy.
Yeah, the culture of the 90s seems really fun, like the music and
Yeah, but there
the
was also a lot
fashion.
of like fucked up stuff going on too.
Well, the economy was good though.
That's true. Bill Clinton. Hey, old Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. Like, I
We
feel
can
like the early 90s, we had Ellen, first gay host.
She didn't have her talk show yet. She just did
Well,
comedy and was on a
she came
show.
out. She was
She
coming out.
came out.
I don't know.
The lesbians
I feel
warrior.
like the lesbian community was really cool in the 90s.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
that's just like what I'm like. I'm thinking about like the lesbian and like punk community
Yeah.
specifically, like the Riot Girl era.
Yeah,
and like that shit just
it was
sounds
like grungy.
such fun like counterculture
Kurt
in the 90s.
Cobain.
Yeah, the counterculture of
Yeah.
the 90s was like really cool.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I wish I was like a young person in the 90s. Like,
Yeah.
like in my teens and 20s would have been really cool.
Yeah,
in
that
the
would have been
90s.
fun.
Yeah.
I think that's as far back as I would go because, I mean,
I just don't, I don't want more and more of my rights taken away. Like, as
Yeah.
I go back and,
I think 90s, being a teen in the 90s would be really fun.
yeah.
That's pretty much all I have about the history because as it states today, I believe it's still in the Schedule 1 category
Yeah.
of drugs.
I have like one interesting study where they had patients undergoing MDMA assisted therapy. They reported that the drug intensifies interpersonal trust and empathy for others.
Mm.
So it's a big like empathy effects.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just we all, as we know, it's not only used at parties but also like at home with close friends. It's like
Yeah.
one of those kind of drugs that's not only a party drug but also like almost like the same that like a psychoactive drug would do, like LSD, where you're like in a small group of friends.
Yeah, and it can be fun that way.
Yeah.
I mean, my first time dreaming about doing Molly was probably the most fun time that I have had on it.
Yeah.
But
Was it at a party or at home with
it
friends?
was at home, but it was when I lived in Columbus and I lived with 5 other people in this big house. It was like the real world. And there were like 3 girls and 3 boys in the house. And me and my roommates did it with my boyfriend at the time who lived across the street. We did it when I was dreaming about it, of course.
Yeah.
Because I don't do.
Real.
I don't.
This is all a dream.
This is a dream. I don't do drugs, but if I did, the first time doing it was so fun because it does give you that euphoric state and everything felt amazing. Like everything I touched felt amazing. Everyone I talked to was amazing. Everything looked amazing. Like everything was really great. And even to the point where I was drinking this like mixed drink with orange juice in it. And I was barefoot in my bedroom and I spilled it by accident. I dropped it on the ground and it got all over my feet. And I was like,
oh, that feels good.
yeah, I was like, ooh, that feels good. So it definitely makes you feel really good. And it does make you like pour out your soul. Like everyone you meet is your best friend.
Yeah.
You know? So that experience was really fun. And I think that is what kind of got me into raves. And I mean, this was back in 2009. So the dubstep scene was
I forget. You were like a rave girl.
Yeah, I was like an earlier rave girl. And now when my friends are trying to go to raves, I'm like, no, been there, done that. I did that too much. Now I can't do it anymore. Because I honestly do feel like I should be on Molly at this thing.
Yeah.
I should be doing drugs at this rave. Like
that is a big part of the culture, like that you just become best friends with everybody there. And there's something lovely about the culture of rave. And I think it very much has to do with ecstasy and Molly.
Yeah, I can
like,
see that.
You just like become a little family and
yeah.
Cool.
Have you ever dreamed about doing it?
I dreamt about doing it. I was younger. I was in high school still.
Shit.
And
I didn't even know about it in high school.
Really?
I don't think so.
I was running around doing hoodlum shit a little bit in high school. But yeah, I feel like I did do kind of like crazy stuff really young. But it was either junior or senior year, and my friend's parents were out of town, and they lived in this really nice big house. And so it was just me and 3 other friends, and yeah, the feeling was a lot like what you described, like just really everything, like the sensations are really high. Like everything
Mhm.
you touch feels amazing and like
Mhm.
you just really feel connected to your friends. Like you feel
Mhm.
so connected and like so open and free.
Yep.
I
Like you love everyone.
Yes, I remember I remember like so it was me and my two girlfriends who like the three of us were kind of like always hanging out and then one of our guy friends and me and my other girlfriend were trying to like hook up the guy and the other girl and we like locked we like turned her she had a record player and we like turned her record player on to like some sexy music and like closed them the door and we're like, guys, you need to have sex on ecstasy,
Oh
like
my god.
they're like, you need to experience it. And then I don't know if I can't remember if they did or not, but I remember also my friend whose house we were at, she had two like kid sisters. They weren't there, but they always had really good like kid snacks, and so we had like Go-Gurt,
Nice.
and we were like obsessed with like the feeling of the Go-Gurt because we were like, oh my god, like it's
That makes sense. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
how it is.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean that was just like fun, like lighthearted time. And then I've also done it like in party scenarios,
Mhm.
like
Yeah. I've done it probably too many times, and that's probably why my memory is so bad now. I don't know. I hear that's what it does, but I used to do it kind of a lot. Not a lot. Like, you can't do it too much because I don't know if you ever got like the depression afterwards the next day,
oh, I'm sure I did.
but it really, like, when you come down from it, it's like you're depressed as hell. So it's like you don't want to do it all the time.
Were you doing ecstasy or MDMA, like the powder or the pill?
So I have a story,
Mm-hmm.
actually. I was doing, when I could do it, I was doing MDMA. There was one time in my dream, like I dreamed this.
Did you snort it?
No, I've never
Well, how do you
snorted
do
MDMA.
MDMA then without snorting it?
You can put it in. So have you ever put it in a
I think I only ever did ecstasy, actually, the pills.
Well, you can do Molly pills too, but they're in capsules.
Okay.
But I would do the Molly, like I've done the capsules, and then I've just done the powder and put it on my tongue.
Oh, okay.
And then I've also this is like really druggy, but they call it like I think a parachute or a balloon or something, and you put it in a piece of toilet paper and swallow it.
Oh, okay.
So I've never snorted it because that freaks me out. But so most like all the times I've done it have been MDMA as far as I know, except for this one time in Pittsburgh with my friend. We were going to a Datsik show. I don't know if you know Datsik, but he's like an electronic like dubstep artist, and we loved him at the time. We went to this show and we had Molly already, like a little bit, and so we took it. But when we got to the show, we wanted more because that's what it does. It makes you want more.
Yeah.
So we ended up. This is so bad. Like, I don't know how I'm not dead by now, but we ended up getting it from this random dude at the rave, and we both took it. And then before Datsik even went on, I had to leave because I was overheating. I got really, really, really nauseous, and I was like sitting out on the side of the road basically with other people who were like taking a break from the show or whatever. And I was just sitting on the curb, like, fucked up, like so high out of my mind. It felt really different. And MDMA makes me smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I was like chain smoking cigarettes, which I don't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
But I was chain smoking cigarettes, trying not to throw up also. And I was awake for 48 hours.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And it turns out it was mixed with
meth, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was mixed with meth.
Well, it all is like methamphetamine in it.
Right.
But maybe
so
it just had
already,
like a lot more.
Yeah, and it
well,
was,
how do you know that it was?
Because I talked to this other guy who was out there like going through the same thing as me, and he was like, "Did you get it from like that guy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh yeah, that." He told me
had
it
a
has
bad batch.
Yeah, well, he told him it had meth in it afterwards or something.
Oh.
So he was like, "Yeah, it had meth in it," and I was like, "Great." And I'm like sitting out there. I missed the show. I missed the Dat6 show because I thought I was gonna throw up the whole time.
Yeah.
And then when I got home, I lived in Ohio at the time, so this again was like 2009, 2010. But when I got home, we made the road trip from
But
Pittsburgh.
what about your friend? Was your friend experiencing?
She also experienced it, but she like has always handled drugs a lot better than me.
Okay.
So she did experience, like, I think she was up for a long time, but she wasn't as freaked out as I was.
Yeah.
It freaked me out.
Well, it's probably like because of anxiety.
Yeah, well, we went back to her parents' house and like slept, but I didn't sleep the whole night. And then
Yeah.
the next day we drove back to Columbus, and I got home and I like thought that if I smoked weed, it would put me, like, make me sleepy, and then I
Mhm.
would be able to sleep it off. But it just brought up the meth part of it, like, even more. And my heart was beating so fast, and it was freaking me out. Like,
Yeah.
I've never been so freaked out. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. I did it again, but not like,
Oh
I
my
was
God.
a lot more careful about where I was getting it and not mixing, like, we did Molly and then we did this weird thing, like not mixing that stuff. Like,
Yeah. That's scary.
it was really scary.
But wait, what was that for? Like that was ecstasy or Molly?
It was ecstasy
Oh, okay.
because it was MDMA mixed with
Do you
meth.
remember what it looked like?
It was like a capsule of some kind.
Oh, really? Because ecstasy pills usually they're like they have different shapes.
Yeah, that's why I think it was like fucked up ecstasy. Like, I think it was honestly Molly with meth in it.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
it wasn't even like a pressed pill. It
No,
was like,
I don't think it was a pressed pill. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Really, but I know that ecstasy, they say like they're round and they have like smiley faces on them sometimes.
Yeah, they're all different. Like the
But
ones when
I
I
don't
was doing
remember.
ecstasy, it was like in my dream, it was like we had one that was like they weren't even round. They were like there was one that was like literally shaped like a little transformer, like the Transformers.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
But like now I'm remembering I did have one like kind of bad one on ecstasy. It was spring break my senior year, and we lied to our parents and said we went to Florida. This is so stupid because we stayed in Indiana,
Oh my god.
which was like safer than going to Florida. But I think the idea was like we just didn't want our parents to like bother us,
Mm-hmm.
and so we rented a Days Inn and just did a bunch of ecstasy and drank. And
That is such like that's something I would have
some
done.
Indiana teenager
Yeah.
shit. But yeah, we rented a Days Inn, and like that was I think my second time ever doing ecstasy, and that time was really weird. I remember like, and I think me and my friend that did it got like different batches, or it just we were experiencing it differently because I remember I was like really cold, and I kept on wanting to get into the hot tub.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had like some other friends that were like not as close come over, and I remember just being like, "Oh, I do not want to talk to them," and that's like not how you feel.
Yeah.
That's like not how you're,
You're
supposed
like, I
to
love
feel.
you. I want to tell you everything.
Yeah, yeah. So it was definitely I don't know what it was laced with or what was in it, but it was that might have been a meth one too. I don't know. No, because
Yeah.
meth makes you want to talk to. I don't know what it was. It was a weird.
That's
feeling,
weird. Yeah,
though.
see, that's the thing is like I haven't done it in my dream for a while, because now I'm like older and it kind of freaks me out. Like, I don't know if I want to do it again.
Yeah.
But I did have one other time where it was Halloween and I was with my friend and we both did it, and it was like cold because it was in West Virginia, so it was probably 40 degrees out, and I was outside sweating
Oh my god.
my ass off, like I'm gonna die. I thought I was gonna die
Yeah.
because I was so hot and my heart was beating so fast, and I was like smoking again, like smoking all these cigarettes that didn't belong to me. And I was like, I might die tonight. And then I don't think I've really done it since then.
Yeah. You need the pure shit only maybe.
Yeah, I feel like, again, test it before you do it.
Yeah. Or just like really know your supplier.
Yeah.
But even sometimes if you know your supplier, they might mess up and get it from the wrong person.
Yeah, like they don't, like you can't really trust anyone but
Yeah.
yourself. So if you're going to do it, test it.
Be real careful.
I'm not saying it's the best drug ever, but it's pretty great.
It's pretty great if you get the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first time I did it was probably the best time I ever did it.
Yeah, it's always better the first time you do it, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a great show.
What, our show just now?
Yeah, our show just now.
Yeah. I hope my dad doesn't hear this.
I hope my mom doesn't hear this, but she won't.
But all of this didn't actually
Yeah, it
happen.
didn't actually happen. We don't do that.
It's just like, you know, we have this imagination of what it would be like, and
Yeah, we have really heightened imaginations.
yeah,
And that's all it is.
that's all it is. We don't do drugs.
No drug use here.
No.
And if you do drugs, get it tested, guys.
Test it.
Especially
don't
now. I
die.
feel like I would not be doing any random pills these days because
No.
of the fentanyl shit.
I'm
that's
surprised
going
I'm
around.
still alive,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. And fentanyl wasn't even a thing really back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Sometimes I'm like, this is crazy. I'm still here. But, you know, God has plans for me, Kirsten.
Yeah. You had to live at least to this age.
To make
For
this
some
podcast.
reason. For the podcast, actually, just to let you guys know.
That's the only reason I'm here. This is my life's purpose, is this
I feel
podcast.
like, yeah, we have a lot of lore, actually, of like our younger days. Maybe if you guys like this, where we talk about the lore of our younger days.
We were wild girls.
Yeah, we were wild.
If we
girly
were
pops.
friends back in that day, we would probably get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, we would have. We would have had fun though.
Maybe, yeah, we would have maybe died.
No, I feel like we would have been fine. I feel like you and I were like the tamer ones that were influenced by people, but also really fun.
But you know, the funny thing is like, I think we might have been the same in this way. But every time before I did drugs, I would heavily research them.
yeah,
You
I was
know,
like
and be like,
researching that shit
okay,
too.
this is what I need to stay clear of, and this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
Make sure I drink water. Make sure I do this, and I like kind of had a good grasp of what to look for if things went south. But I definitely researched a lot because I was like,
Actually, you know
I'm
what?
scared.
I would reach out. I would research, but I think I was a little more reckless than you actually when I was
Mm.
younger. I think I was like a little bit like, fuck it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
I didn't get to my fuck it stage until like 2010, 2011.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess that was the same time
But-
period for me, but I was younger
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for listening if you got this far. I hope you liked it. I'm fucking gotta stop saying that. I hope you liked it.
I hope you like it.
Yeah. Let us know if you want to hear any other fun stories from our childhood or debauchery days. Could be fun. But I also get wary of putting this out here because we had a lot of crazy dreams.
Yeah, there's
That's
been a
what I'm
lot of
saying.
crazy dreams in our lifetime, and
A lot
you
of
know,
crazy
some people
dreams.
might not like them,
Yeah.
but you know, that's our truth,
That's our truth.
our dream truth,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't do drugs.
So, friends, follow us again if you haven't yet. Thank
I
you
don't
so
know
much,
why you
bye.
haven't yet. If you haven't yet,
But you guys should definitely be following us because, you know, we're creating content for you. And also, buy us a coffee.
buy us a coffee, because we can't even listen to ourselves right now because our headphones don't work.
Yeah. We have no idea the sound quality.
Hopefully it's good.
Hopefully. But we could guarantee it would be good if we got our own shit.
True that.
Love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Mwah.
Mwah.